least stop working for a moment.
I'm quite capable of doing more than one thing at a time. You may continue with what you were saying.
I've said it all.
Then that's the end of it, then.
But you haven't told me what you think about the marriage.
What difference does it make what I think? You don't need my consent, and I'm sure you don't want my advice.
I don't need your consent, Father, but naturally I'd rather not marry without it.
If I don't give it, will you marry her all the same?
Yes.
Well, then what are we talking about?
I'd like you to unbend a little, that's all. I'd like you to see things from my point of view.
I don't need to.
You don't need to, but couldn't you try? You don't know the girl.
I know the father, Count Rostov, a bumbling fool.
I don't agree. I think they're charming people.
Provincials.
Well, I thought the same at first. But when I got to know them better, I liked them.
Well, you may like whom you please, so may I.
What would you have me do?
Well, can't you learn from experience?
Yes, I can learn to live a little better. But that doesn't mean that I have to live alone. Because I repeat the same action, it doesn't mean to say I repeat the same mistake. Well?
Wait till I'm dead. That won't be long.
I see no reason to wait until you're dead. And anyway, that'll be a long time off. I see no reason to wait at all.
Well, as I said, you're free to do as you like.
But I don't want to do it like that. Feeling your antagonism the whole time. I want to feel I can bring her home in an atmosphere of goodwill, not resentment and bickering.
She's not what you'd call a brilliant match, is she?
Well, what do I care about that?
And your son? You have a son, you may recall. Looked after here by your sister. Will you hand him over to a chit of a girl not yet 18? And you? You're nearly 15 years older than she and not in the best of health. Do you think that makes no difference? You say you want my consent, or at least my cooperation.
I prefer it, naturally.
Very well, then. Here it is. I believe you're making a mistake, but perhaps I'm wrong. All I ask is that you put it off for a year. You're not well. Go abroad, go south and take a cure. Then, if you still feel the same when you come back, marry.
You're hoping that my feelings won't stand the test of time.
Or that I'll be dead before the year is up, then there'll be no obstacle at all. But if I'm still here and you still wish to marry, you'll have my consent.
Mama, he's here. It's him, Prince Andrei.
Oh, where's...
Oh, Mama, he's coming up. Oh, it's unbearable.
Natasha.
I just don't want to be left.
Now, it's been some time since we had the pleasure.
I haven't been to see you because I went to visit my father. I had something important to talk over with him.
Oh, please don't feel the need to apologize.
I should be very glad if I could have a few words with you, Countess.
Oh, yes, of course. Go, Natasha. I'll send for you. Won't you sit down?
I've come to ask for your daughter's hand.
I see.
That sounds a little abrupt, but I'm sure you're not entirely unprepared. You must have seen how I felt about her.
Yes.
Well, then?
Your offer is agreeable to us. I accept.
Thank you.
I'm happy. And my husband, too, I'm sure, when he hears, will be agreeable, but it must rest with her.
Oh, of course. May I speak to her? Tell her?
Yes, of course. I'll fetch her.
Thank you.
Well, there is one thing. My husband will give his consent, I'm sure, but your father?
He has stipulated that the wedding should be postponed for a year. That's all.
That's a long time.
She's very young.
True. But that can make it harder, you know.
What can I do?
I'll send her to you.
Thank you.
It's Mama. She's coming. Soon it will be all over. To know one way or another this minute. My fate has been decided. Mama.
Go. Go to him. He asks for your hand.
Has she told you?
Yes.
I've loved you from the first moment I saw you. Do you love me?
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy.
Did your mother tell you that it cannot be for a year?
I'm so glad you came back.
You're so young, so little experience of life. I'm afraid for you.
Oh, it won't matter. Really, it won't, you'll see.
No, but you must have time. Time to be sure.
I'm sure.
I want you. I shall always want you. But you must be certain. If after a while you discover that you no longer love me or that you love someone else.
Oh, how can you say that? You know I love you. From the first day you came to our house at Atradny,
In a year, you'll know yourself even better.
Yeah. What do you mean? A year for what?
The wedding must wait for a year.
Why?
So that you can be sure what you feel is a true feeling. You're very young. I don't want you to make a mistake.
But I can't wait a year. Oh, please. Must we?
Yes, it's better.
It's awful. Well, I shall die if I have to wait a year. No. No, I'll do anything. I'm so happy.
We must keep the engagement a secret.
Yes,
In a year, I shall ask you to make me happy.
yes.
I wish it could be now, but... Natalie, there's something I want to tell you. She has said yes. I'm very happy.
God bless you both.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. You made us all very happy.
I've told her that we must wait a year, and she agrees. I'm not happy about that, but what can I do?
She'll survive a year. We'll see to that.
There's something else that I haven't told any of you. Natasha, I'm not well. I seem not to have recovered properly from the war. I must go abroad for a while to a clinic. But I want it clearly understood that while I regard myself as bound, Natalie's entirely free to change her mind.
But we couldn't accept such an arrangement. It's unfair to you.
No, I'd like her to have that chance. I shall be away most of the year. But that'll be good for you. It'll give you time to think, to reconsider.
Well, it's unusual, but if that is how you want it, we shall agree.
Thank you. And now I must go out for an hour or two. But with your permission, I'll join you for dinner this evening.
Of course, it's our pleasure. When will you be traveling abroad?
In about a week's time.
Then please consider this your home until then.
Thank you. Natalie, until this evening. Countess.
Tout à l'heure.
Thanks.
Let me see you out.
Thank you.
Mama? I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Not long returned from a trip abroad, visiting the Masonic lodges of various countries. I went because I had become dissatisfied with the way our own was being conducted and thought I might learn something. I learned some things and tried to put them into practice in our own lodge, but met considerable opposition. Somehow Freemasonry has proved a disappointment to me. The sense of purpose I thought it would give my life has not really been in evidence. But this must be a fault in me. I must strive harder towards a state of inner purification. Meanwhile, my life drifts on. October the 24th, 1810. My wife, who lives in a separate set of rooms in this great house, continues to be the most sought-after hostess. She entertains regularly, and all the important figures of our time pass through her salon. It is incredible. She says the most commonplace things, and everyone discovers the profoundest meaning in them. What is the matter with the world? I am regarded as the very husband for this brilliant society woman. I get in no one's way and provide just the right eccentric background for her. I usually put in an appearance for half an hour or so and then leave. Boris Dubretskoy is there a great deal. Though he is always polite, there is something about him I don't like. October the 28th. I agreed to act as initiator for him into the Masonic Lodge. I didn't want to, but it was hard to refuse. He has no belief in anything or desire to find the truth, but sees Freemasonry as an opportunity to get to know the right people. I met Dolokhov on the street yesterday, and instantly my mind plunged back to that disgraceful duel of 4 years ago, and then, for some reason, began thinking of Natasha Rostova. I know now that I love her. What a fool I was. I never realized. Anyway, she looks on me as a friend, no more. She always laughs when she's with me, as if I amuse her, but in a nice way. Well, all that is hopeless. I can never tell anyone, least of all her. She is now betrothed to Andrei. How strange that it should all have happened like that. Andrei has been away already for 3 months. Time passes with bewildering speed. Before one can turn round, they'll be married with children. Oh well, life must go on. Life must go on.
And what about Denisov? Has he really left?
They gave him command of a regiment. And here's something you don't know. They gave me his squadron.
Squadron commander?
Nothing will stop him. Nothing.
You really love the army.
It's my life, Mama.
I can't get over it. You look so different.
Older. He looks older and more dignified.
Well, he has more responsibilities. Squadron commander.
We saw Boris in Petersburg. We hadn't seen him for years, had we, Mama?
No. He's doing very well, it seems. He accompanied the Tsar's staff to Prussia.
How are things, Father? Not too good, I hear.
Oh, well managed. I've given up being marshal to the nobility. Such an expense, you know.
You haven't sold any of the horses, I hope?
Oh, would I do that without consulting you? No. There's still 50 in the stable and dogs.
How long are you staying, Nikolai?
I don't know. Christmas. Maybe even longer.
We'll be able to do lots of riding.
It's so wonderful to be home.
It'll be like old times, won't it, Mama?
Yes.
What about Petya? What about this young man, then, eh?
Don't.
Oh, stop moaning.
Well, how would you like it if he messed your hair up?
All he does is comb his hair all day.
He had a girlfriend.
Well, my children, my boy is tired after his long journey. I think it's time we all went to bed.
You go ahead. I want a little talk with Nikolai.
Oh, not home 5 minutes. Secret conversations already?
I want a little word, that's all. Without all of you interfering. Can't I have a little word with my son?
Come on, Petya. Much too late for you.
I know. I'm going. Good night, Nikolai.
Night, Petya.
I'll wake you early in the morning.
Yes, not too early.
You soldiers.
Come, sit down. So, you came home.
Yes.
Ah, you're a good boy.
I don't exactly know what I can do.
Well, it'll be nice to have you home for a while.
Are things really bad?
Quite bad. We may have to sell the house in Moscow.
No.
It's been in the family for years.
Well, would it be such a loss? What do we want with such a large place? Vera's married. Natasha soon will be.
What do you think of that?
I don't think it's such an honor to be related to the Bolkonskys. If he were here himself, I'd tell him so. Yes, why isn't he?
Oh, I told you why.
Doesn't make sense. Gets engaged and then goes off for a year.
The old prince wanted it.
Don't like it.
Nor I much. Natasha isn't happy.
Yes, I could see.
Sometimes I think she'll burst. She's not the girl to stand the waiting. She gets depressed. She feels she's wasting herself. That's another reason I wanted you home. You'll help her.
Does he write?
Oh, yes, regularly. He's a good man, Nikolai.
Yes, well, it's none of my business.
Do you know who we saw in Petersburg? Julie Karagina. You remember her?
Yes, of course.
Oh, she's a fine young woman now. So much so that Boris was paying quite a lot of attention to her.
Whatever for?
She's very sought after. Since her brother died, she's inherited vast estates. I was amazed at how nice her mother was. We had a long talk. We write to each other now. She was always fond of you.
Really?
As a matter of fact, I had a letter from her yesterday saying you should go to Moscow while you were on leave and stay a few days with them.
Mama? Are you telling me that I should marry Julie Karagina?
Of course not. Well, certainly not if you didn't like her.
But I must love the girl I marry. You wouldn't want me to sacrifice my feelings just for the sake of money, would you?
Oh, Nikolai, you're misunderstanding me deliberately.
Mama, please, don't cry. You know I'd do anything for you. I'd sacrifice my life.
I don't want you to sacrifice anything. Don't let's talk about it.
No, please, now go on.
Well, I'm only saying that no harm could come of your meeting her again. You might like her. She's a charming girl, and, well, who knows?
Yes, all right. I'll think about it.
Well, that's all I wanted. Goodness, sacrifice. Who's talking about sacrifice? Come, time for bed. You must be tired.
Thrash you like a dog! I beg you, listen, Master. It's all a
Listen, you!
mistake.
We've listened to you enough. You're not dealing with my father now.
Master, I assure you.
Assure me nothing, you rogue! I'll have the hide of...
What's this? What's happening?
I'm going to thrash him.
Thrash him? Nikolai.
I've just been looking at the books. He's cheating us.
Count, the young master doesn't understand.
Understand you? I understand you, you rogue.
Nikolai, please calm yourself.
700 rubles in rent you received last month. Where are they? They haven't been entered up.
It's all a matter of bookkeeping.
Bookkeeping! I'll give you bookkeeping. Rent keeping, that's what it is. He's keeping the rents for himself.
Never. I swear it on my life.
Well, where are they then? They're not here.
You don't understand, young master. This is the cash book.
It's your doomsday book, that's
Count,
what it
will you
is.
please explain to the young master the rents aren't entered into the cash book until the last day of the quarter.
That's right.
Well, why not? What check have we got?
Well, they go into a notebook first.
What notebook?
A day book.
Well, where is it?
In the lodge.
Well, why didn't you show it to me?
Didn't give me a chance, master.
He's right, Nikolai. They go into the cash book first and then they're entered up.
Well, it's a damn silly system.
The system was invented before you were born, master.
Then it's outlived its time!
Nikolai, I feel this is something we can talk about more calmly.
All right. Where is this rent book?
On the shelf in the lodge where it always is.
Don't be insolent to me, you rogue. I'd thrash men in the army for less than that.
No offense, master. The book is in the lodge if you'd ask for
I'm
it.
asking for it now. Go and get it.
Yes, master.
And don't go entering anything up till I see it. I'll know if you have.
Oh, Nikolai, all that fuss for nothing. You would have thrashed him.
Well, it wouldn't do him any harm to be thrashed for nothing. Keep him in his place. I know the rogue's cheating us.
Oh, Nikolai's been with us for years. I'm sure he's honest.
And I'm just as sure he's not. Otherwise, why are we in such a financial mess?
We have a lot of expenses.
All right, Father. I'm quite willing to admit I know nothing about estate management. I'm a soldier, that's all. In future, I won't...
No, dear boy, listen to me. I want you to take charge of things.
No, Father, I'll leave it to you.
Well, we'll manage together, eh? Look, here is something I want you to see. It's a promissory note from Anna Mikhailovna for 2,000 rubles. Now, what am I to do with that?
How old is it?
5 years.
You want my advice?
Of course.
Well, this is what I think. I don't like Anna Mikhailovna, and I don't like her son Boris. They were our friends, and they're poor. This is what I do.
Oh, my dear boy. It's exactly what I would have done. I'd better have a word with Mitenka. He may be a little upset. Perhaps I ought to examine the books, too.
Where have you been?
Riding.
Why didn't you take me?
I didn't think you'd want to go.
You might have asked.
Well, I will next time, but you'll have to be up early. That's pretty.
It's a tablecloth for the table in your room. I started it when you came home. It's almost finished.
I'll take it with me when I go back.
Are you enjoying your leave?
Yes. It's wonderful to be home. Time goes so quickly. Christmas will be here soon. Before we know where we are, I'll be off again.
We shall miss you, shan't we?
Yes. It's nice having you home. Makes it feel more like old times. I wish one didn't have to grow up.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Do you ever get the feeling that there's nothing left to happen? As if everything nice is already in the past?
Yes. I get that feeling sometimes. As if everything's going all right, and everyone's in high spirits. Quite suddenly you feel sick of it all. As if there's nothing left but to die.
I wonder why that is.
I feel it too.
Do you both remember the time I was punished on account of those plums? You were dancing while I sat sobbing in the schoolroom. And I hadn't done anything, that was the point.
Yes, I remember. It was awful. I think I cried afterwards too. And Nicky tried to give you his wooden doll.
Yes. Weren't we ridiculous? Isn't it funny how strange one feels when you look back?
Do you remember how once in the Moscow house, Papa called us into the study? It was all dark, and standing in the middle of the room was
It was a Negro. Yeah.
To this day, I've thought I only dreamt that. I've often asked Papa about it, but he always swears there never was a Negro.
No, he was there. He had grey hair, white teeth, and he stood there staring at us.
That's right. Do you remember, Sonia?
Yes, I think...
No, it was before he came to live in the house. I can remember the day Sonia arrived.
Well, so can I. I was terribly afraid of you.
Whatever for?
I don't know. I think it was because you wore braid on your jacket. And my nurse said that I'd be sewn up with braid too.
I kept asking everyone where you came from, and they all said you'd been born under a cabin. I thought it was true for years.
I wonder if we'll ever grow away from each other.
Why should we?
Aren't we beginning to do that a little already? You with Bolkonsky, me in the army.
wandering about like a restless spirit. What do you want?
Him. I want him. Now. This minute. Oh, Mama, don't look at me. Don't look or I shall cry.
Come here. Come and sit by me.
Oh, Mama, I must have him. Get him for me. I can't stand it any longer. I'm being wasted. Wasted.
The mamas are here! The mamas! And Nikolai and Sonia.
Idiot!
Good heavens!
Turkish law forbids fruit jelly! Then give it to your mother. That's not my mother, insolence. That's my wife. Gypsy! Gypsy, tell me my fortune. What sort of children shall I have?
Please, grasshoppers and dragonflies.
All the same!
If you want something different, young lady, it must be told in a barn, an empty barn.
Oh, it's much too cold.
Perhaps one tell one's fortune in the barn.
It depends what one hears. If one hears the noise of hammering or tapping, that's bad. But the noise of shifting grain, that's good.
But it's dark in the barn. I'll go.
If you're not afraid.
But what's there to be afraid of?
The third day of Christmas, an empty barn, and a shooting star seen last night. Oh, I wouldn't go myself.
I don't think anyone should go.
I'll go. I'm not afraid. Give me a coat.
Very well. Go to the barn, stand still, and listen.
Take care, Sonia.
We've lost a scent.
It isn't my fault.
No obstacles to bar our rations path. Let's go on!
It's Uncle.
Good morning, Uncle.
I thought it was you. Heard you were back from the army. I see you got the little countess with you.
Hello, Uncle.
And me.
Aye, I saw you. Well, I couldn't hardly help myself, could I?
We were chasing a she-wolf, but we lost her.
They went where after, I reckon.
Shall we join forces?
Why not?
We won't get in the way, Uncle.
Oh, you better hadn't, or you'll be sent packing. Come on. She led us a real dance, that one. We've come a long way. You better come back to my place for supper.
Good, good.
Truss her up, lads. We'll feed it to the dogs. Come on, then. Come on. bought him a good balalaika. I'm fond of it.
He plays very well.
He plays beautifully. Tell him to go on.
We'll play again. Anisha, bring me the guitar. So, you see how I'm finishing my days. Not a bad way to end them, eh?
You should come over and see us more.
Well, I don't feel much like visiting. Hunting? Ah, now that's something different. Now then, niece, let's see what you can do. Where, my precious, did you learn to dance like that? Not from that family of yours. Not from any teacher. You're a child of the steppes, a real child of the steppes.
Darling, Uncle is.
Yes. You sure you're not cold?
Oh, I feel so happy.
Shall I tell you something? I've made up my mind about Sonia. I'm going to marry her.
Vicky, have you told her?
No, not yet.
Oh, I'm so glad. Do you know, I don't think I shall ever again be as happy and at peace I am now.
I don't care about that. I intend to marry her.
You're heartless. Heartless.
I'm not heartless. It's you that's heartless.
Nicky.
I love Sonia and I intend to marry
Nikolai,
her.
please.
You've got no right to talk to me. It's through your mismanagement that she's forcing
Your
me into
father
a
like
marriage
that.
just for
I see
money.
how it is. Such is the gratitude children have. Well, you may do as you please, but so shall I. I'm telling you now, I shall never receive that scheming creature into my house as a daughter.
Scheming what? Scheming what? If you push me into a marriage without Julie Karagina, I shall leave this house and never come back again. Do you understand me? Never! No. Never!
Nicky, you don't know what you're saying.
I know what she's saying to
Nikolai,
me!
be quiet! Now just leave the room, Nicky. Now go away, please. Oh.
What happened?
He's upset, that's all. I'll talk to him. Oh, Mama, please don't cry. Mama, please.